I'm pleased to see hundreds of undergraduate students across NATO and in partner nations putting their imagination and brain power to the task of countering disinformation, a significant challenge to our democracies. I want to thank you for contributing to the William and Mary Global Innovation Challenge and NATO Countering Disinformation Challenge. I think this is an important initiative. I'd like to offer today a simple construct that places disinformation in the broader context of national and alliance security. Security challenges and NATO's capabilities can be modeled in three tiers or layers: nuclear, conventional, and hybrid. At the nuclear forces level, deterrence is the key concept. Avoiding war is the prime objective. NATO is, of course, a nuclear alliance, and three allies have national nuclear capabilities. Conventional forces, ground, air, naval, space, are the next level. These military forces are what most people think of when they think of NATO. NATO's conventional military capability is unmatched globally. The alliance is all about integrating the 32 national forces into an effective collective whole. Article 5 of the treaty, of course, promises a collective response to an armed attack, and NATO has over 75 years of success ensuring security at the conventional level. And then, of course, there's a third level, hybrid or subconventional challenges. And this is sometimes called sub-Article 5, meaning that these challenges reside below the threshold of armed attack, below the threshold of the Article 5 treaty provision. And here you have a range of challenges: cyber attacks, energy intimidation, election interference, and of course, the topic of this challenge, disinformation, misinformation campaigns. And this is the key focus of the challenge that you've taken on over the last several days. This framework highlights the importance of countering disinformation at NATO. If NATO's nuclear deterrence posture holds and NATO's conventional forces are unmatched, then opponents will be attracted to the hybrid realm, including disinformation campaigns intended to erode our democracies from within and fracture the cohesion, the solidarity of the alliance as a whole. Disinformation campaigns are difficult to attribute to the attacker, who aims to cast doubt while avoiding consequences. There's no need to attack overtly and face NATO's strength if an opponent can weaken and fracture using disinformation and get away with it. Especially important because NATO is an alliance of democracies. And here I remind the three core values of the alliance. It's actually in the second sentence of the Washington Treaty, the NATO Treaty. The values of democracy, individual liberty, and rule of law. These mean our countries and the alliance as a whole are free and open to dissenting views. We enjoy freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. These are all great advantages of living in a democracy. But to an opponent, these are also opportunities to distort facts, to amplify existing domestic political divides, and ultimately opportunities to weaken us and distract us from external events. So our freedoms can be turned against us. Of course, disinformation is not new. Propaganda has been used throughout history. But today, instantaneous mass communications and social media can amplify a disinformation campaign in ways that are a new challenge. And this, of course, is the challenge that you've taken on. Even more concerning, the advent of artificial intelligence may further expand disinformation with speed, scale, and the ability to fake authenticity. We have moved from false news articles placed in printed newspapers to the potential of deepfake videos that burst instantaneously onto social media platforms with global reach. We live in a world where disinformation can be supercharged. So the topic of this project, the topic of this challenge, your work to suggest counters, could not be more important. Frankly, my generation is struggling with how to counter disinformation. You see it at play in my country and across the NATO alliance. There are no magic solutions. So your ideas are important and will be studied carefully. I can offer 3 ideas. So first, perhaps the best antidote, the best response to disinformation is exposure. Exposing false information to the broad daylight of facts can be very effective. Of course, the challenge is to stick with the facts and present them in an understandable and credible way. Let me offer one concrete example from my time as the U.S. Ambassador to NATO that demonstrates the power of employing factual evidence. In late 2015, the civil war in Syria was raging, and Russian forces were operating in support of the Assad regime. Russian aircraft were bombing positions near the Turkish border. And on November 24th, a Russian combat aircraft along the Turkish border was downed by a Turkish fighter aircraft. There was uncertainty about what had occurred, with Russian officials claiming that there had been no violation of the Turkish border, and there had been no warnings given to the Russian pilot, while the Turkish government claimed the opposite. So the NATO Council convened, 28 ambassadors around the table, Secretary General in the chair, to discuss the incident. Which version of the event was true? Which was disinformation? The Turkish ambassador settled the issue by displaying the radar track of the aircraft, showing clearly that the Russian aircraft had violated Turkish airspace. And then he played the audio tape of the multiple warnings to the Russian fighter. He showed that this was not a single isolated incident, but a pattern of Russian violations and repeated Turkish warnings. He used facts in a clear, compelling way to expose the Russian disinformation in a way that the Russians could not dispute. The second idea I'd offer to your groups is that exposing the source of disinformation can be a powerful counter. Attributing disinformation to the source robs the opponent, the source of the disinformation, of hiding in the shadows and can expose his motives and objectives. So attribution can be a powerful counter. And then third, while earlier I suggested that artificial intelligence may amplify a disinformation campaign, the challenge of disinformation, I also think AI may potentially be part of the counter to disinformation. So I suspect some of the working groups may address this issue. So from my perspective, facts, attribution, and the implications of AI are considerations for your work, and we'll watch carefully your thoughts along these lines. Finally, let me thank all the participants in this Countering Disinformation Challenge. We will learn from you, and I expect you will learn from each other. Like our generation, you will have to contend with disinformation. So it's good that you've taken up this challenge. In closing, one last thought. If tackling such tough issues and working collaboratively with others to offer solutions, especially other NATO allies and partners, if that proves interesting to you or even exciting, consider serving your country in some capacity, your government, your military, your diplomatic corps, your intelligence service. Your nation needs you, and so does the NATO alliance. Thank you very much.